Hello class, in this video I want to show you how you can use text and apply it along a path. We went over text in a previous class session, but we didn't go over this method. So I want to go ahead and take an opportunity to do this method for you. So I'm going to go ahead and create an ellipse, and I want to make sure that I have my layer selected. And I'm going to go ahead and create a perfect circle. So I'm going to hold down Shift and also Option on a Mac or Alt on a PC. And I'm going to go ahead and create this circle. I'm going to go ahead and switch it to my default white and black fill and stroke. So now I have this path right here. And say for example, what if I want like my text on the outside or maybe on the inside or to go around and I have a graphic in the center. I want to show you how to do that. But before we do this, I want to go over just a couple of things in that right now I have this shape. If you wish to still have a copy of this circle, my suggestion is that you duplicate it so that you can use it again later on. So I'm going to go ahead and make a duplicate copy of this ellipse. You could either edit copy, edit paste in front, what have you. I'm just going to go ahead and just duplicate it using this method by clicking and dragging that shape and dropping it over the create new layer. I'm going to hide one. So this one that is hidden, I'll come back to later. So now what I want to do, say for example, maybe I want to say up on top Art 108 and on the bottom Visual Technologies. So I'm going to switch to my type tool, and again I want to point out that I am using the Essential Classic workspace, and I'm going to use this tool right here, Type on a Path. With this tool, it allows you to type along any type of path. It doesn't have to be a circle. It could be a path that we create, and I'll show you in a moment. So with this one, I'm just going to go ahead and click right here, and it goes ahead and puts some default text so you can see what it looks like. Now you could change your character, any type of font that you have installed on your machine. I like using this all-round Gothic bold oblique, so I'm going to go ahead and select this one. You can change the shape. Say I want this to be pretty large. So, or you could always go over here, say give me the largest. Let's go ahead and select 48. And right now it's already selected. I'm just going to go ahead and type Art 108. Now I'm going to switch now to my selection tool, and I want to point out a couple of things. Now right now we have our font, our type along this path, but I want to point out a couple of little icons that we have. Right next to my letter, to my word, right here on the right hand side, there's two lines. It's easy to confuse both of these. One has this little icon that's pointing towards the left. This one is pointing to the right. The one that's pointing to the right here, this one, this is the starting point of where our text begins. Now notice whenever you select it, it automatically makes them smaller. This is where it begins. This one is where it ends. I'm going to move this one all the way around behind the 8. So it's important that we stay outside. And if you go too far, you see how it's no longer highlighted using the color that this layer is. That means that it's hidden. If I drop it right here, it disappears, but you get this little box with the little plus sign. This tells you that there's more text there. I'm going to place it right here. Now this one right here with this little perpendicular array that's pointing up, this is the center point. So this one I might want to center here. If I decide I want this to be larger, I could do that, but do note that by changing the size, I have to change the placement. Okay, now I could see the 8. I'm going to go ahead and move this. Oops, undo. I want to just move this one, snap it to the center. Great, that looks great right here. But say I also want my text to say our visual technologies on the bottom, the inside. How to do that? Well, I'm going to have to make a duplicate of this one and just move it around. So I'm going to go ahead and do so. I'm just going to go ahead and click and drag this one to create another copy. I have two of them here. I'm going to hide one. It doesn't matter which one. I'll hide the top one. and this one says the same information. I want to go ahead and extend this so that I have more room. And using my type tool, I can use the same tool. Notice that if I click right here, it's not going to create anything. It's going to give me an error that you must click a non-compound, non-masking path. That's basically a path that is not being used for that's non-compounded or non-mask. But if I move closer to my text, you can see that I could go in here and edit this one. I'm going to type Visual Technologies for our class. Visual Technolo. Oh geez, it's harder to do it when you can't see what you're typing. So I have to make this one longer. Oh, you see, I misspelled it. I can go back to my type. Well, that's a good thing. I could always go back to change it. Technolo. Geez. I. One letter too long. No worries. I'm going to have to extend this one again. Now, if I click on this one and move it all the way around, notice that I don't want it to be upside down. So if I bring back my previous one, this is all upside down. But you might have seen what happens if you click and drag. I'm going to hide this one, the one that says Art 108. If you click and drag this one on the inside, it can now be on the inside of your path. But I still need to. Oh, it's already there. Let's see. I don't like how these are. You can't see them. Your two controls. This one has to go closer over here. Now I do this so that it makes it easier to be able to center this. Now if I do it this way, now this one is on the inside of the circle, no problem. This is on the outside. Now there's a problem. But we could change the placement of our text along the path. To do this, I'm going to go ahead and select one of them. I'll select the Visual Technologies. And if we go into the option, the file menu under Type, and go to Type on a Path, and there's Type on a Path options. We're going to turn on this preview. You can change the effect how your text is being applied across the path, but usually rainbow looks best. So I'm going to leave it at rainbow, but the spacing, oh sorry, align to path this is baseline, ascender, descender, or center. I want center selected, so this places it exactly center along that path. So I'm going to have to adjust it. I'm going to tell it OK, but I'm going to go ahead and adjust it in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and select this one that says Art 108 and also change that one. I'm going to go to Type on a Path options, change this one to center, preview OK. So for both of them I need to make some adjustments. So I'm going to go ahead and move this center there. I'm going to select the Visual Technologies one, move the endpoint. I guess that looks good. And now it's centered here. Now the reason I did this is that, remember that original circle that I created? So this one is, say for example, I want to move it, I want to make this one a little bit smaller. I'm going to hold down Shift and Option on a Mac or Alt on a PC. And I'm going to go ahead and scale this one in a bit. So we have this. Maybe my stroke. I want to go ahead and make this a thicker stroke. And remember, you could also change the placement of your stroke, where if I click right here in the option in the control bar, where align stroke, this is centered. We could align it on the inside or the outside. So I'm going to maybe align this one on the inside. And it's selected. I'm going to go ahead and tell it to edit copy, edit paste in back. Now you can't see it, but it's already selected. I'm going to hold down Shift and Option or Alt. and I scale this one up. So now I have this nice circles with my uh, words contained on the inside. In here I could put my little graphic, whatever I want to do with it. You know what, I'll go ahead and create my graphic. I want to create, I like using the arrowhead tool. So I'm going to go ahead and create one by using a rectangle. Let's say I have a center. I'll go ahead and create a perfect circle, a square. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this just 45 degrees, switch to my selection tool. I'm going to click on that point and this point, and I would just want to move these down to create an arrowhead. I'm going to switch back to my selection tool, and now I'm going to have to kind of eyeball it. I want to straighten this one. Okay, that looks good. The idea with Art 108, we make use, we use our cursor a lot to change our work. And say, for example, this is just all white. Maybe on this circle, this larger one. Oh, you know what? Maybe on this one right here. Maybe I want this one to have, let's see, what will it look like if I have red on the inside? That looks good. And you know what? Maybe this outer one, I could have gray. There we go. Dark gray, too dark. You have something like this. And for that matter, maybe my text, instead of black, what it would look like if I have white? Perhaps, maybe this is like a little too dark. I kind of like the letters darker. Maybe Art 108 should be black. And you know, the thing about it, these should actually be switched around. And this should also be not white, but black. These maybe should have, instead of a black outline, a white outline. Now, I can't put a white outline around this one. Maybe it's going to be red. We have something like this, but that's the fun thing about it. In the next video, what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you how you could go about changing the color to this logo and placing it on this one so they could have two different variations. Here's a little preview. I already created a different logo. That's right here, but using the same ideas. I'm kind of using the colors. Maybe I don't want the red in the on the inside, but I could. The good thing about it is that I could change the colors. And I will go ahead and do so. But I wanted to show you how you could create text along a path. Oh, before I go, let me just show you another thing that you can do. You don't need to use those shapes. You can use any shape. I'm going to use my pencil tool and say I just create a shape that looks like this. As long as you have a path, I could use my type on a path tool. I'm going to click along this path and say I'm going to go ahead and type in Art 108 Visual Tech. So technologies. It doesn't fit because my text is too large. I could just shrink down my text until it fits. Technology. Let's see. Again, I misspelled it. I can now make it a little bit larger. But remember that this path no longer is available to be able to apply a stroke value onto it because it's now part of the shape that creates your text. So these are different things that you could do that you could potentially play with. So here I'm still working with this one. Maybe I want red on the outside. Do I want red? Maybe I want blue. Anyways, I think you get the idea of what you're able to do. Let me know if you have any questions. In the next video, I'm going to show you how you could duplicate this and colorize them so that you can have the two different options. I think you should probably go because I could spend all this time continue working on these different logo variations. So I will see you relatively soon. Have a great day.